Sri Lanka has always lived with the ocean. For many, this was just another beautiful morning. Nothing strange, nothing dangerous, just life. Inside small homes, families packed school bags, folded fishing nets, and planned the day. No one knew that everything was about to change. Then, the sea began to move in a way no one had seen before. Curiosity came first. Fear arrived a few seconds later. A dark line on the horizon grew into a wall. In minutes, the ocean that fed us became the ocean that swallowed our homes. When the water left, it took lives, memories, and entire streets with it. What remained was mud, silence, and questions. For many children, the world shrank to one question. Where is Amma? Where is Thatha? In school halls and temples, strangers slept side by side. Pain was shared, but so was rice, water, and comfort. Names became photos, photos became candles, and candles became the only light for families who had lost everything. But from the very next sunrise, people did what Sri Lankans always do. They bent, but they did not break. Years passed. Homes were rebuilt. Lives moved forward. By 2019, a different peace had settled over the island. On Easter Sunday, people entered churches with hearts full of prayer, not fear. Among them was a young man who had survived the waves as a child. In one violent instant, faith was shaken again. This time, not by nature, but by hatred. Hospitals filled with sirens and prayers. Once again, families searched for names on lists and doors. But on that same night, another message appeared. Not revenge, but unity. Many faiths, one grief, and one hope. Fear traveled faster than planes. Hotels emptied overnight. The world looked at Sri Lanka with worry again. Inside homes, people asked, how many times can one country suffer? And yet, they held each other a little tighter. Even with fear in their eyes, parents still sent children to learn, because stopping life is another kind of defeat. In temples, kovals, mosques, and churches, one prayer was shared in many languages. Please, let this island heal. Then came an invisible enemy. Not bombs, not waves, but a virus. The streets went quiet, but the struggle moved indoors. Health workers fought day and night, holding the hands of strangers because families could not be near. Classrooms moved to screens. Some children shared devices, shared data, and shared hope that this would end soon. As the crisis deepened, another line became part of daily life. Fuel queues that lasted not hours, but days. Prices went up faster than salaries could chase. Every trip to the shop became a lesson in sacrifice. When the pressure became too much, people stepped out, not for one party, but for one message. We deserve a future. Doctors, students, shopkeepers, teachers, people who rarely walked together, found their voices on the same road. Darkness returned, not from war, but from shortages. Yet, in that darkness, family conversations returned too. Even when everything felt uncertain, a small cup of tea and a shared laugh reminded us, we are not alone. Just as the country began to stand again, the sky itself changed. In 2025, Cyclone Ditwah wrote a new chapter of pain. In villages and towns, families held on to roofs, to animals, to each other, trying not to be swept away again. Roads became rivers, houses became islands. The poorest areas, as always, paid the highest price. On the hills, earth itself moved. Families who once feared bombs and waves now feared the mountain behind their homes. Once again, school desks were moved aside for mats, and the boy who once searched for his mother now carried food for other children. When the waters rose, so did compassion. Sri Lankans did not ask, "What religion are you?" They asked, "Have you eaten?" Behind every news headline are small moments like this: a cup of tea, a soft word, a shoulder to cry on. In the darkest hours of the storm, strangers became heroes. Boats carried not only people, but stories of courage. When the rain finally stopped, the damage was everywhere. But so was something else: the decision to begin again, one brick at a time. The next generation, is not only cleaning the past, they are planting the future, one tree, one coast at a time. Brick by brick, wall by wall, people rebuild not just houses, but trust between communities. In every classroom, there is a new Sri Lanka being written, one where children sit side by side, not divided by old wounds. From coastal nets to hill country fields, from cash to QR codes, people are reinventing how they work and survive. In the cities, ideas are turning into apps, platforms, and startups, tools to warn about floods, support farmers, and connect communities. Leaders of faith now stand shoulder to shoulder, understanding that peace is not a slogan, it is daily work done together. From the south to the north, from the hills to the coast, tracks and roads tie us into one story, no matter where we were born. Look closely, and you'll see it. Not just suffering, but millions of ordinary moments, laughter, hard work, celebrations that never make the news. We have faced waves, bombs, hunger, sickness, and storms. We have cried together and stood up together. No matter how many times we fall, there's a part of Sri Lanka that refuses to give up. That part lives in you, in me, in all of us. Let's rebuild Sri Lanka together. One heart, one home, one nation,